The Marutis and the Hyundais beware, Motown is set for a Chinese invasion. The mass market passenger car maker Changan has made the first move for its India debut, and Utkarsh Chaturvedi joins us now with exclusive details of this. Utkarsh, what is Changan's game plan and how big is this a threat for Maruti and Hyundai?
So if you look at it, Aisha, what we're picking up from our sources is that Changan is looking to set up shop in India. They are in talks with the Tamil Nadu government at this point of time to really buy some land and put up a plant. Now, how big the investment will be is not something which is yet been disclosed. But not only Tamil Nadu, in fact, Changan has gone to Maharashtra as well to looking for land. So obviously they are looking for land aggressively so they can start their operations as soon as possible. What we're picking up is that they are planning somewhere in the next fiscal year to start their operations. Now, if you look at Changan, Changan is a mass market player. It sells somewhere around 2 million cars in China, and if you talk about the Indian car market, it is somewhere around 3.5 to 4 million. So obviously, they will look to dent into the mass market. They have the low-end SUVs on their side. They have a very big portfolio. They have a JV with Ford in China, so they might use it here as well. But clearly, it will be a game-changing thing if Changan really enters India as soon as they're planning.
Yeah, indeed. So what are the kind of models, Utkarsh, that Changan is looking to roll out from here?
So if you look at Changan's portfolio, they have a very wide range. But what they will look in India and what they specialize at is the low-end SUVs market, because this is something which has been doing in the Indian market for a very long time. Well, so that is the reason why they really will look at the low-end SUVs and cars in the mass market cars when they come to India.
So you would say a direct hit for Maruti then in that case?
So if you look at the fact, look, Maruti again has the dealership strength, the network and everything. So it will be really hard to say that it will be a direct hit on Maruti the day Changan comes. But if they put their plans right in place, who knows?
Yeah, indeed. Utkarsh, stand by. Let's chat a little bit more about this and the kind of impact that it could have on some of the homegrown players. Hormazd Sorabjee, editor at Autocar India, joins us on the show right now. And Hormazd, no Chinese car maker has ever ventured into the Indian territories till date. How big a threat do you think it could be for the likes of Hyundai and Maruti, given the kind of price war they can unleash?
Well, I think what's going in Changan's favor clearly is that, it is well suited for business in the Indian market. They know the business of scale, that is manufacturing on a really wide scale basis. Obviously, they're very cost competitive. So value for money is something they could definitely offer, the kind of things which Indian consumers really like. But I think, the brand will be a big challenge because at the end of the day, Indian consumers, they will pay some attention to a completely unknown Chinese brand coming and might be a bit wary of it. So I would, I'm a bit skeptical, to be honest. It will take a long time. It's not that they're going to come in and just wipe out the market. They'll really have to earn the trust of the consumers. But they do have certain models, like they've got the CS35, which is a low-end SUV. They've got the Yado sedan. So on paper, the products are very appealing. But it's more than just the product, it's the whole manufacturing ability. And in the end, it has to take on Fortress Maruti, which really no one has been able to do. Even Hyundai, after 20 years, is still really hasn't made a massive dent in Maruti's market share. So I think it will be tough going for Changan, but it'll be quite exciting as well.
Hormazd, hi, Utkarsh, this side. I wanted to get a sense, if you look at Changan's portfolio in China, they have a lot of JVs. They manufacture cars for Ford, in fact, Mazda. So when they come to India, do you think that they will look at that model, and because they have a JV with Ford already, they would look at some kind of collaboration with Ford in the Indian markets?
Well, it is possible on a component level, but I don't think, at a brand level that would happen. Let's not forget that one of the reasons why why multinationals have to have JVs in China is because that is the law. So you have to have a local partner. So Ford has Changan. In fact, there's even Suzuki has Changan and well, and PSA as well. So, they have multiple partners. But that's really to fulfill a regulatory requirement in China where you have to have a joint venture partner. That's not necessary in India. So I don't see why Ford would want to share, let's say, their models over here, unless Changan is bringing in a massive investment. Now, we saw SAIC had done this with General Motors Motors a couple of years back. Then SAIC pulled out as well. Whether we could expect a similar scenario, it really depends on, let's say, if the investment is needed, if they need Changan's money and investment in the Indian market. But otherwise, I think maybe at a component level, there could be some sharing of costs, because Changan make cars like the Focus, they make cars like the Kuga, which I think Ford are looking to bring on their own over here as well. So there could be some sort of, let's say, component sharing, but I don't think they would be doing any joint models together.
Hormazd, as you said earlier also, that Changan specializes in the mass market. You know, they sell around 2 million cars there, which is almost half of the market size which we have here in India. Do you think when they come, they have the muscle power? Will they play the price game when it comes to India?
Yeah, they will definitely play the price game, but you know, at the end of the day, the price advantage they have in China won't necessarily translate over here, because you have to build up your own vendor base. You have to have huge economies of scale. You don't have the legacy of Maruti, which gives them a lot of cost benefits. I mean, their investments have been you know, amortized decades ago. So I think it is going to be up against some pretty stiff competition over here. Plus, when you take in land costs, the cost of setting up new dealerships, doing that in 2017, 2018 is a lot costlier than what it was for a company which did it 10 years ago. So they won't have the cost advantage that people think they would have. You know, in the end, finally, it's all a matter of scale, but it will take some time for Changan to really, you know, make penetration into the Indian market. And, you know, they could make, let's say, fast inroads in maybe urban areas where people are a little bit more receptive to try out a different brand, but deeper into the hinterland, people are a little more risk averse. And I don't see them just switching to a new brand overnight.
Yeah, especially since Chinese products are infamous for their quality standards. But apart from that, Hormazd, what is the kind of price differential that Changan will have to offer to lure the Indian buyers? Utkarsh told me that they're looking at the smaller SUV markets. I'm guessing Brezza would be, you know, the direct comparable, so to speak, over here.
Yeah, it would be with Brezza, and you know, again, Mahindra will be very vulnerable as well, because we've seen that you know, these new entrants have really come and hit Mahindra the hardest, because they are really they've been the dominant SUV player, and we've seen their market share erode. For example, Brezza and Creta are now selling more than Bolero, which used to be the best-selling SUV for, you know, over a decade. So I think there will be impact on certain of the local players, but I don't see them really becoming a big dominant force, because again, when it comes to the price game, no one can you know, play that as well as Maruti. And we saw that recently, that when the Renault Kwid and even the Datsun Redigo was launched, Maruti came out with a refreshed Alto at an even lower price. So if it's a price war, I don't think any manufacturer globally, Chinese or otherwise, can match Maruti in that regard.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.